Thanks for coming out and watching the oxymoronic Reddit Professional Show, where I showcase the best and worst of the internet. Here I comment on brilliant and hilarious comment chains regarding dumb shit on the internet for you to enjoy. Make sure to subscribe, hit the little bell button so that you get notifications every time we come up with a new video. Enjoy this week's show.
Life pro tip: if you find yourself in the ER, US, you can negotiate your bill. Never pay the full bill. I'm on a trip with 3 doctors right now and they're ranting about US ER procedures and prices. Apparently, ERs rarely receive payment. This means that you can call the hospital when you receive the bill and negotiate it down to a much lower price. For instance, my GF negotiated her ex's bill from the ER from $10,000 to $4,000 by guaranteeing payment immediately. Other tips I've picked up from my GF's parents: never order Tylenol, Advil, anything a family member can bring you. If you're insured, do not sign the form that says you agree to pay what your insurance does not. The ER cannot turn you away. If you're insured, do not sign the form that says you agree to pay what your insurance does not. The ER cannot turn you away. If a provider is in network, they cannot make you pay anything other than patient liability. So if the provider bills $1,000 and the insurance says $100 deductible, we pay $500, that means the hospital is contracted to receive $600 total. The other $400 they will try to make you pay, but since they have a contract with the insurance company to only receive $600, they are not allowed to come back at you. If they do, contact your insurance company's fraud department. Source: near 2 decades of experience working operations in health insurance. I'm deceased. Any non-US Americans here who understand a word of this? Example: insurance companies negotiate billable rates with providers for every procedure imaginable and agree to these rates by contract. So if you go into the urologist's office for a vasectomy without insurance, the urologist might say, "We charge $1,000 for vasectomies." But if you have, say, Blue Cross insurance, their negotiated rate for vasectomies is $600. So what happens in that case is, you get a vasectomy, and the urologist sends Blue Cross a bill for $1,000. Blue Cross sends them a little reminder that the negotiated rate is only $600, along with a check for $600. Urologist may try to send you a bill for the remaining $400, but you don't have to pay it because they're under contractual obligations to give vasectomies to Blue Cross members for $600. Now, if that's not confusing enough, let's say you have a $2,000 deductible on your policy you haven't met. That means that you pay 100% out of pocket all medical expenses up to $2,000 in a calendar year before Blue Cross pays for anything. In this case, urologist sends Blue Cross a bill for $1,000. Blue Cross sends them a note reminding them the negotiated rate is $600, but also lets them know they won't be paying anything because your deductible hasn't been met. Now urologist may try to send you a bill for the full $1,000. But because you're a Blue Cross member, you're only liable for the negotiated $600. US is a mess. Saw this advice somewhere on Reddit a while ago, I forget where. The op said they had good luck reducing medical bills or debt collections by as much as 40 to 50% by asking, "How much would you accept to make this go away if I paid in full with cash today?" If the collector didn't reduce by much, op followed it up with, "Oh, I don't have that much available, but I do have this much." If they still couldn't reduce it, then op said they'd call back when they had the money, and sometimes op would either call them back immediately or after a few weeks/months in order to try again with somebody new. Man, this sounds like someone trying to pay off the mafia from bashing their shins in. Except you already have your shins bashed in. We haggle when it comes to our health care, lol. This LPT is both incredibly helpful to a lot of people and a really good snapshot of what the fuck is wrong with our system in the United States, all at the same time. I'm European and I read this thread with my mouth wide open. What the actual frick? Agreed. As a Canadian, I'm trying to imagine being in a place where I have to turn down Tylenol at the ER so I can call a family member to bring it to me instead. I know that's probably one of the smaller things, but it's just so f***ed up. When my mom was in the hospital before passing away, she was being charged $100 per tablet for Tylenol. Now we had insurance, so we didn't pay that, but that was what was being billed to the insurance, which of course they wouldn't pay either and have a negotiated lower rate. When she first went into the hospital, she walked in with a stomach ache. She was mostly fine, but they said they needed to have tests done at a different hospital and she'd need to take an ambulance ride. $5,000 to go about 45 minutes away. If we elected to drive her ourselves, we were told she wouldn't be accepted/admitted. She ended up contracting C.diff in that hospital in the ICU where they sent her for those tests. That's horrible. Yes. My thoughts exactly. Just an FYI, That doesn't always work, but it doesn't hurt to ask. I had an emergency surgery last year that took less than 2 hours, got billed $65,000. Insurance covered $54,000, leaving me with $11,000. The bills were coming in from all directions, randomly, and some double-dipped. I had to put together an Excel spreadsheet to keep track of them all, which was a major pain. The hospital system started consolidating the bills incorrectly. I called them, tried to negotiate, they refused. I started a payment plan for all of them, 9 bills for different departments, each wanted $100 to $200 a month. They sent it to collections after 3 months despite the fact that I was paying more than the minimum amount. The collections agency said that this particular medical group was having an abysmal time with bookkeeping due to a large merger, so they were offloading bookkeeping to collections and that it wouldn't affect my credit. I tried to negotiate again. They said that my bills were flagged as such that I couldn't negotiate at all. It was frustrating, especially since the medical system in the US punishes people who work for a living, follow the rules, and pay taxes. A few months later, my wife needed to go to the hospital for a simple procedure. The woman who we worked with in triage told us some of her stories. It was horrendous. The hospital system was ruthless to their own employees on billing. Also, if you're with BCBS, the facility may be in network, the specialists are in network and very likely the ER physician isn't. Arizona, BCBS will negotiate on your behalf with the out-of-network physician to accept in-network payment because of this. There are other health insurance companies that do this as well. Same with surgeries. You may have a surgery at an in-network facility, your doctor may be in-network, but the anesthesiologist isn't. They may negotiate for the anesthesia bill. And to add, emergency ambulance services can also be negotiated as they are usually out of network. I had surgery at an in-network day clinic of an in-network hospital with an in-network surgeon. No unexpected charges there. $200 copay. The pathologist who tested the biopsy, however, not in network. They tried to charge me $6,000 for that. Depending on when that was, the pathologist can likely be negotiated too, if it's not too old of a claim. The rule of thumb is to choose an in-network place and an in-network surgeon or doctor. A lot of professional services, pathologist, radiologist, anesthesiologist, etc., do not contract with insurances for one purpose: more money. But because those providers are assigned to you, basically you don't have a choice, then depending on your insurance they will likely negotiate for you if that professional is billing you more than what your insurance says you owe. We really need to fix our medical care here in the US. Why the fuck is it all for profit? The entire system is dishonest and designed to milk your bank account dry. The HMO I worked for in the US touted itself as not-for-profit and philanthropic. They gained $84 billion in profits in 2019. Our Nurses Week gifts this COVID year were cheap lunch totes, and we were still reusing PPE when I quit a few weeks ago. Where did those profits go? Askreddit, $54 billion to $84 billion. I can't believe I almost shortchanged them like that. Why is the US healthcare so complicated? It's almost like an industry that requires ton of study to fully understand. Short answer: money. Longer answer: a whole industry relies on the bullshit that makes them money, so they use their money to resist change. They have done so by lobbying, but also by sowing discord and misunderstanding so people don't even agree on a solution. This 1000%. Money is why anything is complicated. For example, taxes are complicated because the wealthy have money to afford accountants so they can pay lower tax rates. And filing taxes is complicated because the tax prep lobby wants it that way so people keep paying them to provide the service. For what I know from US healthcare system, the real LPT is something in the lines of, never put yourself in any situation when you might end up in the hospital. That or, just be very rich. I have a chronic disease and a lot of the time when I should go to the hospital I stay home and suffer, hoping it doesn't backfire on me. But I've paid half of my salary in hospital bill in a year and I cannot keep doing that. That's so scary and hard to understand for someone who is not from the USA. It's surreal what you have to pay to be healthy and educated in your country. How can you live like this? Painfully. I'm a healthcare consultant and my wife works in medical billing, so I like to think I know a bit about this subject. The spirit of your post is in the right place in that we all want to save money on medical bills, but you're wrong about quite a bit. Apparently, ERS rarely receive payment. Right off the bat, this is just incorrect. I'm not sure what hospital the 3 doctors you are hanging out with work at, but uncompensated care does not account for a significant portion of the average ER's expenses. Pick any health system and you can see their publicly available reports. For example, Ascension Health, Randomly selected large health system reported $546 million in traditional charity care on their most recent financial statement. Sure, that's a big number, but it's in the context of $5.7 billion of net patient service revenue. So free care is a little less than 10% of their revenue, and if I were to speculate, I'd say that's probably on the high side. This means that you can call the hospital when you receive the bill and negotiate it down to a much lower price. For instance, my GF negotiated her ex's bill from the ER from $10,000 to $4,000 by guaranteeing payment immediately. You're making a sweeping generalization from an anecdote. I'm guessing that in your girlfriend's ex's case it was a matter of the ex not having insurance and getting billed at the normal rate, which was then negotiated down to something more affordable. Anyone with insurance is unlikely to get such a big discount. Once the insured leaves the hospital and all charges are coded, their insurance company works out what is covered and what the patient's obligation is. It's up to the hospital to determine how the patient's obligation will get paid, but if they know you can pay for insurance, then they know you have some money, and they want it. Depending on the hospital, some will agree to a small discount for upfront payment, maybe 5 to 15%, but more often than not they'll tell you to either set up a payment plan or pound sand. Never order Tylenol, Advil, anything a family member can bring you. This is probably the most dangerous piece of advice in your post, and I have a hard time believing a doctor actually said it. Even though we have a ridiculous health system that charges stupid amounts for a dose of Tylenol or Advil, taking some without it being documented in your medical record opens up the possibility of adverse reactions with other treatments. Don't ever take any medicine behind your doctor's back. My wife's advice for saving money on medical bills: just ask for it. You may come out ahead with a little cash, and worst case scenario they'll say no. But saying every ER is struggling and that offering to settle for cash leads to 50% plus reductions in bills sets unrealistic expectations for the majority of people reading this post. I was once on the medical board of a hospital and the CFO said that she encouraged everyone to negotiate their medical bill and that she would guarantee a smaller payment. It just couldn't be advertised because it would be fraudulent to bill insurances at a different rate. But anything left for the patient to pay should be negotiated. Ill people should be resting and focusing on recovery, not fighting with corporations. I wonder if it's a deliberate practice. Factoring in some money for discounts for the more tenacious, outspoken people, they're so proud of themselves and happy for saving few grand that they stay quiet instead of going out on the streets to overturn the system. Most likely it's because people don't pay more than what the insurance covers. It just gets written off. In the meantime, the patient's credit score is ruined. They get behind on bills because of lost work. They may be racking up on high interest rate credit cards to not become homeless. This is America.
If you enjoyed this week's effective way to waste time, hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. If you are enjoying the series, leave me a comment below. A special shout out to the content creators. You frickin' rock.